Hello and welcome to Held and Heard. This is a podcast for pregnant and postpartum mamas who want to feel more connected to their babies and more confident in themselves. Here, we talk about elimination communication and infant potty learning as a way of listening, not as something to add to your plate, but as a way to better understand what your baby has been communicating from the very beginning. This is a place where you learn to trust your baby and yourself. I'm your host, Heather Medlin, mother of 3, infant potty learning educator, and founder of Ready from Birth, where I guide postpartum mamas through every stage of early potty learning, from birth to toilet independence. Each week, I'll help you slow down, tune in, and discover just how aware and capable your baby already is, so you can meet them with confidence instead of doubt. Your baby is communicating, and you are capable of listening. Let's get started. Have you ever gotten up really early in the morning to try to have some time to yourself as a mama before your kids woke up or before your baby woke up? And it's like your baby knows, they know that you're awake and their eyelids just fly open the moment you get out of bed. That happened to me this morning. Y'all, I got myself up at 5:15 this morning so that I could have plenty of time to do my yoga routine and record this podcast and have some time to myself with my coffee in silence before my kids woke up. And I had barely done one cat-cow on my yoga mat. I was 1 minute into this when I heard my baby start to fuss. And here's the thing. Sometimes he will fuss for a few minutes and then go back to sleep. But he has this wind-up cry, and I recognize it. I knew it was coming, where he just starts to fuss and it gets more and more intense. And finally, he is fully awake. He's sitting up looking at the camera and I'm seeing eyeballs. So I had to go in there and get him and change his diaper and nurse him. I'm finally back out here with you guys to record this podcast at 6:40 a.m. So we're like an hour and 20 minutes into my morning at this point, and I'm finally getting to sit down. And why do I share this? Why am I giving you all these details? Because it's not about perfection. And I think that in motherhood, we can be so discouraged when we try to do something and then it derails, or it doesn't go the way that we expected, or it doesn't turn out how we wanted it to. And it can feel like, oh, why do I even do this? Like, why do I even try? I'm raising my hand right now. At least once a week, I try to do something with my kids. I have 5, 3, and 1. And I'll try to do something fun with them, like make muffins or cook a nice dinner or take them to the pool. And inevitably, something goes wrong. Somebody spills orange juice all over the floor. Somebody drops the muffins and everything spills. Somebody burns themselves in the oven. Like, all of these things have happened. And I have this feeling, and I know I'm not alone in this, of it didn't turn out the way that I expected, and therefore, why even bother? And I say all this because when it comes to elimination communication, I've noticed that mamas tend to fall into one of 2 categories. They either learn about EC and they're like, oh, well, I could never do it like you do it, so I'm just not even going to try. I couldn't do it perfectly, so I'm just not even going to start. And then the other category is mamas who hear about what I do. They hear about EC and they're like, wow, that's amazing. I love it. I want to do it. And then they're all in. They're all in and they want to do it perfectly. And they expect that they can do it perfectly. And then they come to me discouraged when they're not catching every pee and their baby pooped in their diaper for the 3rd time this week. And they're like, what am I doing wrong? It's not going perfectly. Mama, hear me loud and clear. You are not going to do this perfectly. I do not do this perfectly. I'm really feeling it pressed upon my heart this week that this week's episode needs to be some real talk between you and me, that this is not going to be a perfect practice. I often talk about all the really amazing things that happen with EC and what your baby is capable of, what my baby has done, really cool moments where he has shown me very clear communication and he has shown up in the bathroom after being with the babysitter and I'm getting ready and he'll come to the bathroom and say, hey, I need to go potty. I often share these capability moments that prove this is real. This does work. Your baby is highly aware and capable and communicating. But the truth of the matter is that what I don't share is the other hundreds of moments where things don't go perfectly. And we do have poop on the floor, or we do have just a string of wet diapers all day long, and we just can't seem to catch anything. All of this is true at the same time. And I want to be raw and transparent with you because I think so many mamas will hear about this and immediately feel overwhelmed, immediately feel like, well, there's no way I could do this perfectly. There's no way I could take care of a baby without diapers. How am I ever going to get anything done? Or I work and my baby goes to daycare. And then the mom guilt sets in and you're like, oh, well, I work and therefore I can't do EC and therefore I'm a bad mom. And I'm just going to turn her off because it makes me feel bad about myself when I hear about what this mama is doing. And I feel like I can never do that myself. And I just want you to know, y'all, I'm not doing this perfectly either. I have 3 children, 3 small children who still are saying, Mama, can you make me a snack? Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, wipe my butt. Mama, I spilled orange juice again. Mama, our baby has a Lego in his mouth. There's just constant mama, 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 mama all day long. And I work an almost full-time job. I'm juggling a lot. So do not think that I am doing this perfectly. Do not think that we catch everything because we don't. And that has been the case with even my second baby I did this with. And I'm okay with that. And I want you to be okay with that. And I just want to normalize that you can do elimination communication and take a posture of, I'm listening, I'm paying attention. I believe that my baby is capable. I'm here for the signals and I'm going to respond when they let me know that they need to go potty. And it's totally okay to have your baby in diapers while you're doing this, to use that as a backup, knowing that you're not perfect, they're not perfect. There's going to be lots and lots of misses. And why add 15 minutes to your day to clean up a mess when you don't have to? You can do this imperfectly. Use the diapers as a backup and still celebrate every time that you do get a catch. Celebrate every time you do notice some clear communication and you do respond in time and your baby does pee and poop in the toilet out in public at the grocery store. There's going to be moments like that where you have these incredible wins and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so glad I'm doing this. It's so cool that my baby can do this. And my baby is communicating. Even at 4 weeks old, my baby is communicating to me, letting me know that they need to go and I'm capable of responding. Y'all, those moments, you're going to be like, over the moon. This is awesome. And then there's going to be the moments where you are literally wearing your baby, you feel that they need to go, and then as you're getting them out, they poop on you. I shared this on my Instagram way back when this third baby was a newborn, but there have been blowouts on me in the carrier. I have gotten poop on the carrier while wearing a diaper, y'all. This is not like we were bare bumming it at 4 weeks old. No. While wearing a diaper, I have had multiple blowouts that have covered me in yellow poop and the carrier and my nice dress that I was wearing. He has peed on me many, many times because, as I've explained in one of my earlier episodes about how to get started with a newborn, and we go into a lot more detail about this and other techniques that you can use in the Born Ready course, but one of the really easy low-hanging fruit opportunities that you have is when you're nursing a newborn, take their diaper off, nurse them over a lap potty so that when they inevitably pee and poop while you're nursing them, which is basically guaranteed to happen, then they can just go in the potty. And great, now you've caught a poop, you've saved a diaper, you're learning their signals as you're doing this because they're in your lap, you're observing them, you're having this deep one-on-one time with them. This is a great way to get started with elimination communication with your newborn. And also, it definitely brings with it the risk that you're going to get peed on. How many times have I gotten peed on while doing this? It's okay. I'm prepared for it. I'm not wearing precious clothes anyway because I'm nursing, so I'm getting breast milk all over myself and spit up all over my shoulder. This is the season that we're in. I'm prepared for this, and so it doesn't throw me for a loop when it happens, but once you are aware that this is happening and you start to commit to doing this and you start this practice, there are going to be hundreds of times that you miss a pee or a poop, or a caregiver that your baby is with misses a poop or what have you. And it's going to happen. And I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm hurting my baby because I missed this. I'm doing this wrong because I'm doing it imperfectly. We don't have a perfect score. No. If you are aware of this and responding at all, even making an effort to do this, you are already giving your baby such a gift just by trying to notice and respond. They're going to pick up on that. Every time you do this, every catch you make, even every failed attempt that you make to do this, your baby is learning. They're learning that these feelings that they're having in their body mean something, that you are paying attention to them, that they deserve a response. Even if you miss, even if you don't get there in time and you've got to blow out to clean up later, your baby is still learning that this information in their own body matters. And the grace of EC is that you get to do this day in and day out, over and over and over again. You're going to do this hundreds, if not thousands of times in the first year alone. And all of those pees and poops could be going in a diaper, unresponded to, totally ignored. And, you could have a reactive approach, which is what most people do, or you could have a proactive approach and try to respond before it happens. Try to notice the communication that's happening right before the diaper is used. And that is going to make such a difference in your baby's self-awareness, your baby's ability to communicate, and your confidence as a mom. But the outcome doesn't matter. It is the responsiveness and the noticing where all of the magic happens. My baby is 1 year old right now. He just had his birthday last weekend. And we're currently doing the Ditch the Diapers strategy that I teach in the Ditch the Diapers course and is also included in Born Ready. If you're starting out now with your newborn or you're pregnant and preparing, you don't have to worry about getting another course later. Everything that I teach is all included in Born Ready. It's a one-stop shop for you to start EC with your newborn, carry this through their entire growth journey, and then ultimately use Ditch the Diapers to wrap it up and get them out of diapers in the end. We are in the Ditch the Diapers phase right now, but we are practicing giving him more and more opportunities diaper-free so that he can start to take himself to the potty. Y'all, this is a very imperfect process. If you are not willing to get poop on the floor, this might not be for you. It requires a level of letting go and being okay with a mess that can be unfathomable in the newborn postpartum phase because you are so overwhelmed and so in survival mode. But by the time you get to a year, this is where you're really able to start passing the baton to your baby and allowing them to take responsibility because your baby is cognitively ready to do that. They understand sequences, they understand what's supposed to happen and their role in it. And your baby, like mine, is probably either walking already or very, very close to walking. What happens when they're walking? They can move faster. Now they can take responsibility for getting themselves to the bathroom when it's time to go before they have an accident. So last night, my baby had not pooped all day. Normally he poops in the morning. This had not happened. He almost always will then poop in the afternoon after I nurse him again. This had not happened. So we're on poop watch. Like, I know it's going to happen. I had made dinner. We had burgers for dinner last night. It was awesome. And my baby was crawling around on the floor. I saw him showing me signs in the high chair that he was ready to poop. And so I had gotten him out, taken him to the potty, and allowed him to go. And he peed, but promptly got off. And he promptly crawled away. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to let him be down here, naked booty, knowing that he's able to get to his potty. He's able to climb on it himself. Now, at this point, that's another skill he's been working on. And so I'm thinking, all right, we're starting bath time in a few minutes. I'm just going to let him be naked and see what happens. And a few minutes later, I'm cleaning up the kitchen. I'm doing the dishes. My husband is in the living room, lounging on the couch, doing something on his phone. And all of a sudden, I hear from the living room, Heather, he's pooping. And I'm thinking, okay, are you going to get up and help him get to the bathroom? And of course, my husband continues to lounge. And about 30 seconds later, I get to him in the living room and he's sitting there. And there's a huge pile of poop on the floor next to him. And we have hardwood floors, so it's very easy to clean. I don't feel worried about this. Again, we know what to do. So he's pooping on the floor. And of course, I scoop him up and I said, hey, buddy, poop goes in the potty. I stayed calm. I didn't get angry. I didn't get upset. I took him to his little potty on the floor and he screamed. He didn't want to sit there. And so I was like, all right. I kind of wiped him up so that he didn't have anything on his body. And it seemed like the way that he was squirming, he needed to go some more, which is very common. Babies will normally poop in a couple different ways. Sorry for the TMI. I'm just sitting here having my coffee, telling you about the poop. And I cleaned him up. He was showing me that he still needed to go. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take you to the bathroom where we have one of those toddler toilet seat covers with the step and the handles on the side. They are really supported. It's a toilet seat reducer. And he has been using that more recently. And so I take him to the bathroom. I set him on the toilet. And of course, he immediately relaxes. And it seems like he needs to go some more. But he relaxes. He wasn't trying to get off. He wasn't fussing at me anymore. He's like, all right, I'm good. I'm here. But after I picked him up and I was washing his hands, I just said to him, hey, buddy, poop goes in the potty. And he points at the toilet. And I was like, oh, you want to put your poop in the toilet? And he points at the toilet again. And I was like, oh. He was trying to go to the toilet, not the potty. He didn't want to use the potty. He wanted to go to the toilet where he had used the toilet earlier in the day. He's seen his big brother and sister using the toilet, and he wanted to go to the toilet too. The reason we had this poop on the floor accident is because he was trying to get to the bathroom, which is all the way across the house, to go to the toilet, and he didn't make it because he's not quite walking. He was crawling. And I was like, oh, okay. So we had the accident. We had the mess to clean up. This is what the doggy bags are for, y'all. My husband took care of the cleanup, thank goodness. We sanitized it really well. No big deal. But he was trying to get to the bathroom, not the potty, the bathroom, but he didn't make it. And these little moments of effort and failure are actually what allows us to learn as humans. We need to try and fail in order to learn what doesn't work. If you've ever tried to learn a new skill, I guarantee you did not just learn it the first time right off the bat. Most people do not succeed immediately. It takes time and practice and trial and error and learning through failure. And our babies are no different. And so I just want to share this story because I want you to be aware that there is a messy middle. There is a period of time where your baby is learning and you are trying to give them more and more space to learn and practice on their own. And they're going to fail and it's going to be messy, and that's okay. And throughout this process of starting with your newborn to getting to a 1-year-old baby who's trying to take themselves to the toilet when they need to poop, there are going to be so many misses, so many poopy diapers, so many wet diapers that you're washing or throwing away. We use trainers at home now. I still wash laundry, y'all. I still have lots of pee laundry to wash. It is not perfect. We do often get pees in the potty, and most of the time he wears underwear at home, and I'm totally fine with him going on the couch or going into the carpeted bedrooms or, hanging out on my bed. I don't worry about it. I don't fear an accident because I know he's going to tell me before he goes most of the time, but it's still imperfect. He still has wet pee bottoms that I have to wash later, and it's okay. And I want you to know that EC is not all or nothing. You do not have to be perfect to do this well. You do not have to do it perfectly and never use diapers for this to matter. You do not have to be all in to the point that you're getting a perfect score 100% all the time for this to make a difference in your baby's life, in your life. Any amount of EC matters. Any amount of effort and trial and attempting to do this matters. Mama, if you are on the fence and you're like, oh, I'm curious, I'm interested, but I just don't know if I can do this, that's okay. Get started. I break down everything that you need to know in the Born Ready course so that you can get started, whether you're starting with a newborn, a 6-month-old, or even at 1 year. There is a place for you to start. It is all broken down in the very first module of Born Ready so that you can start where you're at, start learning how to pay attention, learn how to fold this into your routine, and make this really super effortless. One of my students in the Born Ready course shared this with me recently, and it almost made me cry. I was so happy that this worked for her. She said, when my baby was 7 weeks old, I jumped in and I was hooked. I was already familiar with the concept of EC and I was planning to try it, but I needed that push to get started. Access to your course was such a blessing. It gave me so much confidence to be able to reference that material through the days, weeks, and months of hitting periods of baby's resistance, judgment from others, and normal patterns of development. I felt like you were there cheering us on in the background. I credit EC as one of the contributors to my daughter's early verbal communication. She started signing at 6 months and had many intelligible words by 10 to 12 months, and our secure connection. I know that she knows we pay attention to and respond to her needs and requests, and she has experienced that from the first few weeks of knowing us. What a gift in our relationship. Our daughter is 19 months now and fully potty trained, with the exception of occasional overnight or other unusual scenarios. It is so amazing to experience her complete capability, independence, and awareness. You have made such a positive impact on our parenting perspective and the way our daughter's life has begun. Isn't that just amazing? When I hear these stories, it is such an encouragement to me to keep doing this and keep sharing this information, because I know that it's going to make a difference in your life, in your baby's life, and just your family dynamic in general. And everyone I've spoken to, everyone who has tried EC with their baby will never do it the other way again. If it's your first baby or your fourth baby, after you do this, I guarantee you, you will never go back to doing this the way you were doing it before with any of your subsequent children. This is a game changer. It will absolutely change everything about your parenting journey and how you see your child and the relationship that you have with them. If you're wondering if you can do this imperfectly, if you can do this with multiple kids, or you have a job like me and your baby's going to daycare, I promise you, it is absolutely for you. This is absolutely doable, even part of the time, even imperfectly. I recorded a video when my daughter, my second child, was 7 months old. It was a day in the life video, and it's on my YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. I basically documented every time we went to the potty all day long, and at the end of the day, I tallied up our score. Even on a day when I was home, it was a Saturday, I was not working, I was filming that day, we only caught 50% of pees and poops. 50%. And that was a good day. And I have so many people who come to me in the listening circle, which is our community integration space for EC. It's a place for you to come when you have questions, when you need reassurance, when you just need practical help from me or from others in our community. The listening circle is a place where you can come and get that ongoing support for this journey. I have many people who come to me and they say, Heather, I'm not really seeing the P signals. We're not catching everything right now. Like, what do I do? I have to remind them so many times, this is normal. It is normal to not catch everything. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that your baby is missing the point or that you're missing something. It is normal to be imperfect. I just want to say that loud and clear so that you are hearing me. It is normal to be imperfect with this. If you're starting EC with your baby already, you've gotten some wins, I just want to invite you to join the listening circle. We get together every first Friday of the month as a live call. The next one is happening on Friday, May 1st. So that's about 2 weeks from now. Friday, May 1st, we meet at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We get together live. That is my favorite time of the month. I love getting together with you guys. It is such a grounding reset for your practice where you can tap into your intuition again, remember why you're doing this, get support figuring out any sticky situations that you're facing right now, and leave with a plan and leave with confidence and reassurance that you are doing this well and you're doing this right and that it matters. So you can find the links for all these things I've mentioned down below in the show notes. I hope this has been really helpful and has served you this week, and I will see you next Monday. All right, enjoy your day. Bye for now. If you loved today's episode, would you take a moment to help me reach even more mamas with this message? Leave me a review or share this with a friend. You can help even more families discover what's possible. You can find education and support for every stage of your baby's potty learning journey at readyfrombirth.com. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at readyfrombirth.ec. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back every Monday with a brand new episode. See you next time. Bye for now.